Yeah, feel free to fiddle with it.
Do you want to try the tripod?
Your arm's going to get really tight.
Oh.
Stand up, which means
I just
Hi everyone. Welcome. Thank you for coming to the debate, Is Eating Animals Ethical? I am Malene Anello, and I'm with the Harvard College Vegetarian Society, a co-sponsor of the event. Bruce Friedrich, of People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, will begin with a 15-minute introduction. Then, Wes Hopkin, of the Harvard Speech and Parliamentary Debate Society, will give a 15-minute introduction. Mr. Friedrich will give an 8-minute conclusion. Then Mr. Hopkin will give a 10-minute conclusion, and Mr. Friedrich will give a 2-minute response. After that, the speakers will take questions from the audience. Before we get started, out of curiosity, I would like to have a show of hands. Who here is vegetarian or vegan? Okay. Now I will introduce the speakers. Arguing that eating meat is not unethical is Wes Hopkin of the Harvard Speech and Parliamentary Debate Society. Established in 1983, the Harvard Speech and Parliamentary Debate Society is Harvard University's premier competitive debating organization, bringing students to American Parliamentary, British Parliamentary, and other tournaments across the world. They have won more American Parliamentary Debate Association national championships than any other university, and they consistently field one of the strongest teams year after year. In addition, they bring public debate to the Harvard student community. Wes Hopkin is the Harvard Speech and Parliamentary Debate Society's Vice President of Internal Development. He is a junior in Quincy House, and he concentrates in social studies. He has been doing debate since he was 12 years old. Arguing that eating animals is unethical is Bruce Friedrich. Bruce Friedrich is Vice President for Policy and Governmental Affairs for People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, or PETA, the world's largest animal rights organization. Bruce is the mastermind behind many of PETA's campaigns and has coordinated thousands of protests and actions across the globe. Bruce has debated meat, fur, and animal experimentation industry representatives on countless television and radio programs, including NBC's Today Show, as well as programs on CNN, the Fox News Network, MSNBC, and Court TV. Bruce is also not afraid to take to the streets, having participated in demonstrations all over the world. He once streaked a meeting between the Queen of England and George W. Bush.
Am I up? I need to do this. How many people here do eat meat? Okay, so it is most of you who eat meat. It looked like quite a show for vegetarianism, and I thought, gosh, that's going to feel very odd. I'm not used to sympathetic crowds, so it's nice to see all of the meat eaters among us. Thank you I would like to start by thanking Wes and the Harvard Speech and Parliamentary Debate Society. Did I get that right? the Harvard College Vegetarian Society, and especially Jessica Luna and Aline Avello for sponsoring the event, and of course all of you for turning up. Thank you very much. It's such a lovely sunny day. I would think that you would all be out enjoying it. No, it's not, so you have nothing better to do. Before we get started, this is just sort of maybe interesting. Did people hear that Bill Gates bought the Seattle Times this morning? Yeah, he buys it every morning. Some of you are late joke bloomers, apparently. I'm just going to tell jokes. This is a better reception than I usually get, so no. So the title of the debate is Eating Animals Ethical? And the entire question basically challenges us to do what Socrates said, to examine our lives. Socrates said the unexamined life is not worth living. And for most of us, I think, certainly it was true of me. I grew up in Minnesota and Oklahoma, and the idea of even thinking about where my food came from was really anathema. The first time, I guess I was probably 17 or 18 when I heard about the concept of vegetarianism. The first time somebody told me they were a vegetarian, I think I thought they were some vegetas, planet. And I said, no, I don't eat meat. I looked at them like they were saying they didn't breathe oxygen. You don't eat meat? Well, what do you eat? In Minnesota and Oklahoma, it's pretty much all we eat. And playing football in Oklahoma, pretty much our food groups were McDonald's and Dairy Queen. So the idea of not eating meat was not something I had ever considered. Once I started examining my life, asking where my food came from, I read first a book called Diet for a Small Planet by Francis Moore Lappé. And that convinced me that for environmental and human rights reasons, it's not acceptable to eat meat. I had been a vegan for a number of years when I read a book called Christianity and the Rights of Animals, which convinced me for animal reasons that it's not acceptable to eat meat. And what I'm going to try to do in the probably 12 or 13 minutes that I have left is to go over what I see as 3 categorical imperatives that prove, I guess I'm not sure if the resolution is that it is unethical or it's ethical to eat meat, but I think for 3 independent reasons that it's not ethical to eat meat. First, if we care about the environment, and we should, it's not acceptable to eat meat. Second, if we care about global poverty, the roughly 1 billion people who are starving to death on the globe right now, it's not acceptable to eat meat. And then finally, if we're opposed to cruelty to animals, it's not acceptable to eat meat. And discussing ethics, I think that ethics requires that we care about the environment, that we care about the global poor, and that we oppose cruelty to animals. The environmental argument is pretty intuitive, and this is the one that did it for me in the first place. Diet for a Small Planet, Francis Moore Lappé, makes the semi-obvious point that other animals have to eat in order to survive, and that the vast majority of their calories go into simply leading their lives, just like us. I weigh about 180 pounds. If I do nothing but lie in bed watching Jerry Springer reruns, I'm going to burn like 2,000 calories a day. Except when I'm going, Jerry! Then it ticks up a little bit. And the same thing is true of farmed animals, right? Not that they have the bad taste to watch Jerry Springer reruns, but that the vast majority of the calories that are fed to them go into simply existing. So that it takes about 20 calories into a chicken or a pig or a cow in the form of soy or wheat or corn. It takes about 20 calories in to get 1 calorie back out. Would anybody here go to your refrigerator, open it up, take out 19 plates of spaghetti and toss them in the trash, and eat 1 plate? No, of course not. Pretty much everybody recognizes that unnecessary waste is wrong. It's inherently wrong, it's wasteful. Well, every time we choose to eat chicken or pork, every time we choose to eat an animal, we're eating an animal who took in 20 calories for every calorie that we're getting in flesh from that animal. And according to Diet for a Small Planet, the conversion is it takes about 20 times the fossil fuels to get a calorie from meat than to get a calorie from corn or wheat or soy. It takes about 14 times as much water. It takes about 25 times as much land. Is it ethical when you have a choice to choose to consume something which requires exponentially more water, land, and energy than something else? I would contend that it's not. It actually gets quite a bit worse, though. The United Nations put out a report, and they looked at, it's called Livestock's Long Shelf.